Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for giving us your time. I know how precious your time is because we all get so busy. So I really want to thank every one of you for being here and participating, and getting to know Southern Africa, which is such a wonderful destination. Certainly, very true to my heart. And let me get the screens going. So give me one moment. Is everyone able to see my screen?
Sherry, I'm seeing your screen. It has the slides along the bottom as well.
The slides along the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to change it to the other screen. Let me just see if I can do that. Give me 1 second. For some reason, I'm unable to see. Is everyone now able to see the single slide?
There it goes. That looks great.
Yes, awesome. So as Doug said, we are in our signature journeys. We do tailor-made tours, and we do Asia, Africa, South and Central America, and everything we do is very personal. This is myself. I thought I'll give you a little picture of myself, and I do call myself the destination specialist because I personally travel to these destinations not just once, but over and over again to make sure that we're updated. We know the destinations, we know what we're offering you, and that's important. So, a little bit about our company before we go into Southern Africa. We are, as I said, we are experienced, we're knowledgeable. I started the company with over 35 years of experience, and of that, 16 years has been with ANS Signature Journeys. Certainly one of the best luxury tour operators. We won the Travi Award Silver for Best Vacation Packager for Africa in 2016. We're recognized by National Geographic Traveler, and we're members of ASTA, APTA, IATAN, BATA, which I'm sure most of you, or all of you, are very familiar with. What's important to us to make sure that we have partnerships with other suppliers who are ethical, who also believe in being sustainable, and we work with local guides, top-notch local guides, drivers. We like to support the local community and preserve the local culture habitat. We also support an NGO which is called the Hope Foundation in Rwanda for young children. These are children who are orphaned, and we support them with kitchens and food and other things. So why also choose us, you as travel agents? Why would you come to us? And I think one of the main reasons, and this excites a lot of people, is we are B2B. So we don't sell directly to consumers. And I think as travel agents, this is very important to you because when you send us a client, the client will always remain your client. We offer accommodations from luxury, deluxe, superior class. We don't deal with any of the budgets or all your proposals that come to you are customized proposals. So it comes to you with your agency logo, the name of the agent, your contact details, your emails. And this comes to you through a very special software that we developed exclusively for our companies. It's not a Word document that you get. It's a very professional itinerary, which the feedback I get from agents is they're always wowed with it and say, thank you, because this is a great presentation. It has wonderful images, and they're able to sell it. We custom tailor make all our proposals, whether it's for FIT or for your group travel. And we have a special group division which handles only groups. Once we have actually finalized your tour, it's sent to you nicely bound in a handmade silk folder. We have additional documents in it, like additional leave behind copies, which you can give your clients, baggage tags, ticket folders. Your agency receives a bound copy of the itinerary, so it's all there. And the good news for travel agents is that the commissions are paid at the time that you receive your documents. So let's now get on to what we are here about, Southern Africa. And I've got you a little map here which shows you the areas that we specialize in. starting from Mozambique up here, now if everyone can see my cursor, Mozambique has the longest coastline and the most beautiful beaches in southern Africa, coming down to Swaziland, and of course, then you're coming into South Africa, which is all of this. The key points being Johannesburg, Cape Town, the Garden Route, and of course, going up here to the Kruger National Park and that surrounding area, which has some prime Big Five safari. And then going on to the more exclusive safari is going up into Botswana, going into Zambia and Zimbabwe, which is a little triangle here, and I'll show you later on as we go along. South Africa is actually an easy destination from the United States because we all know we have Delta Airlines and South African Airlines that fly directly to Johannesburg. If you want to do open draw where you fly somebody into Johannesburg and fly out from Cape Town or from Lusaka, there are so many options because you can take connecting flights to Europe. KLM is one of them. They offer great airfares. Emirates from Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Istanbul, Qatar from Doha. There are many, many options that you have. And as I said, you can fly into Johannesburg and then have an open draw and then have people fly out of Lusaka, which is up in Zambia, or have them leave from Cape Town with great connections because the internal flights are not expensive. There are also direct flights now from the Kruger area going straight into Mozambique, which is really nice because it cuts down any double connections. And that's where you can do wonderful safari and beach combination vacations, and it makes it very cost effective. People always ask me, the first question they ask me is, what's a good time to travel to Southern Africa? And really, there isn't a good time. And it's purely because it's what the client wants to experience. So, for example, the winter time, which is just the opposite of what we have here in the United States, would be our summer, which is June, July, and August, and it's certainly nowhere as cold as the East Coast gets out here. But it's also the time that you have the least amount of rainfall in the Western Cape. But of course, when there's no rainfall in this area, then there's wonderful game viewing. So people love to do that. It's also nice to be out there in the cold, when it's cooler and you're out there on game drives. The peak game viewing, if you go up to Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, now begins April to October. Now, if people want to do, say, newborn animals, you get, it's so nice to, go in there and see these little baby animals all over. And this would be September, October, you're looking at November, December. The summertime is the time that it would get very hot. But still, it's not that hot when you look at traveling November, December, January, February. Not if I guess you go up in October, it does get hot. This is if you're going up to Botswana and Zimbabwe and Zambia, it can get very hot in October. But if you're in Cape Town, it doesn't get hot. And then again, see, in autumn, you'll find that it's very mild weather, great for trekking, great for going into walking safaris, going into Botswana and doing the Kalahari Bushman walking safari or even mobile camping. Again, in autumn, you find that there's fly fishing experiences. There are specific experiences that you might want to do, which is, for example, if somebody wants to go see whales, then you would have to do it between August to November. And similarly, you have the famous sardine run, the Namakwa daisies, shark cage diving, and so forth. And this tells you that it's a year-round destination. And as I said previously, it's all about what somebody wants to experience. What is it that they want to see? I have many questions coming from travel agents asking me, why Southern Africa? Why not East Africa? What's the difference between the two destinations? And I think the experiences in Southern Africa are very diverse because when you go into East Africa, it is mainly focused on safaris, which is great, which is wonderful. We do that. But clients sometimes want to have different experiences, but at the same time, be able to do the big five. And I think for someone who is looking for that kind of, gourmet safety, the ease of traveling around because the infrastructure, the road systems are just amazing. The value that you get for your money when you're traveling to Southern Africa is really, really very good with with the way the rand is, and your actual safari experience, which is exceptional. And I will show you some pictures as we go along, and you'll see what I mean. The access to very pristine virgin beaches, like in Mozambique and Malawi, are just absolutely so beautiful and so wonderful to be there. And in terms of having vaccination, yellow fever is not required. So if there are people who are older, they're worried about traveling, they don't have to take the yellow fever. Malaria is, however, highly recommended because it definitely exists in some of the camps. And I would say if you want to do the true safari, yes, you want to do it. The ease of visas. You enter South Africa, there are no visa charges for South Africa. When you go into Zambia and Zimbabwe, on arrival, you get the CASA Uni visa, where you can actually go from one country to another. It's a multiple entry and material of the number of times you go, and it's only $50. So all these things can make it very attractive for people and also makes it very cost effective. Getting around in Southern Africa, as I said, the domestic flights are really very reasonable. But if you have people who are high end, who want to do charters, you might have some company corporates who want to do private helicopters and sometimes even private jets if it's a small family, because you sometimes find those are actually cost effective because we could do smaller planes if it's a family of 10 or two families get together. And that's something that's really growing now, where you have the intergenerational families traveling and they make up their own groups. Of course, the luxury trains. There are two of the main trains are the Blue Train and the Rovas. Very beautiful, very luxury. It's awesome. You have wonderful vehicles, cruisers, cars, car rentals. Let's look at some of the top attractions, say, in Cape Town. So when someone goes to South Africa, I'm not talking of Southern Africa, I'm talking of South Africa now. People go into Cape Town. Typically, you want to do about 4 nights there, 4 to 5 nights, where people would want to see Table Mountain, Robben Island, and Nelson Mandela was, the V&A waterfront with wonderful shopping, the botanical gardens, Cape of Good Hope, the Boulders Beach where the penguins are, which is amazing because they live in two different climatic conditions. And you can literally, sometimes see them walking around you within just, a few feet. If you have special Jewish families, there's a Southern African Jewish Museum. Tour of the winelands, being able to actually do a chocolate and a wine pairing, being able to actually even stay in a vineyard, just is so beautiful. It's just absolutely lovely. And traveling along the garden route. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I meant 10. And then I also want people to consider Johannesburg, because sometimes Johannesburg sometimes gets left behind. But it's a great transit stop, especially if you're doing your open draw, coming into one city and leaving from another city. In Johannesburg, you have the Apartheid Museum, Lily's Leaf. There's a lot of culture, a lot of things that happened during Nelson Mandela's time. You also have the Pilanesberg National Park there. Now, I'm just going to show you a little video. It's a very short video on South Africa. Just enjoy it. That was with the courtesy of the South African Tourism Board, and this was one of their brand new productions, which I think has only been, in the last month or so. So I hope you all enjoyed it. And then I wanted to share with you some of the pictures that I personally took whenever I go there. And I wanted to see how close these animals can get to you, the big five. And it was amazing. It was a leopard on a tree that we just sat down underneath the tree and we just watched it. And these beautiful two brothers, the cheetahs, of course the elephants. And you can see with the elephants, I'll just go back. You can even see it. It's just so beautiful, so close up that you can get great pictures. So for photographers, this is just amazing to be up so close to the animals. This is one of your antelopes, the lions, and I'd like to also talk about the vehicles that they use in South Africa. They're open jeeps, and they're very safe because these animals really don't fear the vehicle because they know the vehicle is not their competition. So people are very safe, and you can see children are there. They interact with kids. For children, this is just so lovely to go in there and play around with nature, learn about the small animals, learn about the big animals, sometimes have a wonderful breakfast out there. And with that, I end my presentation on South Africa. And I'm actually going to now invite my dear friend, Rosalind Hine. So that's Roz with her two kids. And Rosalind brings a great wealth of experience to us with very hands on experience. She's been in the industry for 31 years and she worked in to major tour operation company in South Africa where she was responsible for creating and building very unique itineraries. And then she joined Sun International chain of hotels where she was actually managing events and conferences. So Rosin has the skills to actually work with FITs, your groups, putting them together. She knows what it is all about. And right now, she's actually doing product development and she's working for us. She's our representative. She does wonderful stuff. I would love to pass this phone on now to Roz. Roz, it's all over to you now.
Thank you very much, Sherry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Roz, and I'd like to tell everyone that you're talking to us from Johannesburg right now. And firstly, thank you so much for staying up because I know the time differences are what must be about 8, 9 for you in the night now.
Yes, it's 20 past 8 in the evening, but it's an absolute pleasure to share this wonderful destination with you all and perhaps give you some insight on how to tell it going forward. Right, I'm going to start with the map that Sherry's got up. If you look at the map of Africa to the side, you will see the three countries that are highlighted. The one at the top is Zambia, the one to the left, to the right is Zimbabwe, and then down the bottom is Botswana. And this is quite a very important map. If you look at the center of the map, you will see there's Livingston and Victoria Falls. Now, that is where the absolutely famous Victoria Falls is, and you can view the falls from either side, whether you're on the Zambian side or whether you're on the Zimbabwean side. There are certain times of the year where it's better on the Zimbabwean side, but with the uni visa that Sherry alluded to, one can cross from one side of the border to the other quite easily. So we start to look at it as a destination rather than two separate countries. There are many establishments, hotels on either side of the falls, which we'll talk about just now. But what is important is that these two areas are gateways to all the various different beautiful national parks that are in these three countries and ends up being part of any itinerary that is in Southern Africa. Can we move on to the next slide? Okay. In this area, apart from the absolutely incredible Victoria Falls, is also a plethora of activities that you can participate in. There's something for everybody. as Sherry has said on her slide here, there's whitewater rafting, there's sunset cruises on the Zambezi, tour of the falls, there's helicopter rides, micro rides over the falls, canoeing safaris, you can go and touch elephants, touch cheetahs, you can go to the spa if you want, if you'd rather do that, you can relax canoeing down the river. There's a lot to do. So we generally try to say minimum is 3 nights in this area due to the fact that there is all of these amazing activities. Move on to the next slide. Okay. This is a map that just shows you a little bit. So what happens is the rivers, the Zambezi River and the Chobe River come in from Botswana and travel down across the border. And in fact, at Kasane, where Sherry's now pointing, you actually end up crossing 4 countries in about a matter of 30 seconds, because all 4 countries meet at that particular point on the river. The river then goes along, and along the river you'll find the accommodation establishment all the way along, and then you'll come down to where you'll find the Victoria Falls, and it then drops into what we call the gorge. And the gorge is where the helicopters and microbes will do a further extension on their 15-minute flight. And there's some activities like jet boating that gets done below the gorge, and whitewater rafting gets done below the gorge. Just some imagery of some of the activities you can do. I mean, I couldn't show you them all because we've been here forever. This is just showing you amazing micro-lighting over the falls. They do 15-minute flips, but they actually can extend them down the gorge for 30 minutes. We have an amazing, during low water, which happens from about April to August. We have this low water period where you can actually go and swim in the top of the Victoria Falls, in the area called the Devil's. And then some of the other activities, we have these amazing trains. Sherry alluded to the luxury trains that we have in South Africa. We have a replica of the Rowcross Rail trains up in the Victoria Falls area. And these are dining experiences. We go on board these old worldly trains that have been refurbished. They're pulled by authentic steam engines. They go out over the bridge, which is the border between the 2 countries. And you can get off the train, do your photographic. You can get back on the train, and then it puts you back to full hardcore silver and crystal dining experience. We have 2 trains, one in Zambia and one in Zimbabwe. And then, of course, on both sides of the river, there's sunset cruises, there are mini boats that go out, and some of them are more safari type boats, and some are more the gin and tonic type boats that you see in this image. And then we have in both sides of the falls elephant interaction. We're moving away from riding an elephant. A lot of people are finding it ethically there's a problem with it. They are still offering them at the end of the year, but they are moving away. And these are the new activities that are coming on board. One in Zambia, they have the elephant cafe where you can sit and have dinner or lunch while the elephant's around, feed the elephant. In Zimbabwe, they used to paint on eagles using the elephant as your muse. So there's many activities surrounding the elephants in the region. Vehicles on both sides of the border, or actually all 3 sides, whether it be Botswana, Zimbabwe, or Zambia, we have 33 seaters up there, from anything from 33 seaters for groups right down to 7-seater H1 living experience for smaller families or ethnic travelers. But what it shows here is that the quality of vehicles that you have up there is quite high. So you should never be concerned. Then from accommodation point of view, in Zambia, we have anything from a 3-star up to 5-star. Particular image is taken of the Abani Resort, which is a 3-star resort. And then their sister hotel is called the Royal Livingston, which is a more 5-star property. Both of these hotels are the closest to the falls. On the Zimbabwe side, Batonka, which is shown here, is a 3-star property, a new one, but as you can see, very good quality 3-star. And then we've got the amazing 5-star Mateki. And this is just showing you 1 or 2 the establishments. There are many, many that we, again, I can't show you them for the presentation, but they are at. And then just coming back to the map, if we can just show you from there, your gateway into any of the wonderful parks is incredible. From Livingston to Kasane, your transfer time is about an hour and a half. And then you're right in the Itinerary National Park, which is very large. And then next to it, you'll see the little Okavango Delta, which I'm sure it's quite famous doing. Down south, you've got the Central Kalahari. And if you were doing a standalone but itinerary, I would use the Kalahari up to the Delta, and I would use Kobe and then add on the Victoria. If you are, sorry, can we just go back to the map there? So from Livingston also, you can also do up into the western Zambia. You can travel up to Lower Zambezi and South Luangwa, which is also incredible. In fact, South Luangwa has the highest concentration of leopards in southern Africa, and you're guaranteed to see leopards in this area. Also the highest concentration of snow in the world. Traveling times between an hour and a half, depending on which park you're going to. Down into Zimbabwe, you've got Wangi National Park, which is actually a extension of Kobe. It just happens to go across the border, so it's called a different name. And you've also got Mana Pools, which is the Zimbabwe equivalent of those in Zimbabwe. So again, you can do standalone itineraries in Zambia, you can do standalone itineraries in Zimbabwe, or you can combine two countries in an itinerary depending on budget and timing. We're just going to focus on Botswana for now. Botswana, we said, has various areas. The Chobe being one area, which is the very big Chobe that has the biggest concentration of elephants in the world on the Chobe River. The Okavango Delta is pretty different. Safari Dungeon is up on the boat as well as engaged. You're getting a bit of both. Yeah, it's a little sort of canoes that travel down the canal, whereas in the Chobe you've got bigger boats. Maremi is actually of the Delta of Bank Delta. The Kwai area is also a section of the Okavango Delta. As we said, the Kalahari is a very different safari experience. It's a full desert type of experience. And if you were doing a standalone, I would strongly recommend you add that on. Activities in Chobe, all the establishments in Chobe offer the same activity. So it all just depends on the budget as to which you would put them. But they all do game drives in Chobe Park. They take you to the cultural visitors. They all have fishing. One of the things that we like to a lot in Chobe is houseboats. The reason for this is most of the establishments are situated outside of the national park. So it does require driving gate, coming in and driving down into the park. Whereas the houseboats actually cruise along the river and you stay in the park at night. It tours the boats at night. So you can wake up, for example, my 10-year-old boy woke up fishing at 2 o'clock in the morning and found a lion next to the boat. Very safe because he was high up on a houseboat. But it was just an incredible experience, and those kind of things you couldn't experience if you were staying outside the park. It's just an image of one of the houses. It's very luxurious. We've got big ones, small things, but all of them are luxury. For example, this picture you see here, these are 5 birth house.
Rosalind, you are breaking up for me, and I just wonder whether everyone can hear. Doug, is Ross coming across clearly? Can you hear Ross?
It is breaking up a little bit from time to time. I'm definitely getting the gist of what she's saying. There is a little bit of breakup, but
great.
Yeah, I think just
so
speaking,
I'll get Ross to continue.
Yeah, just speaking, a little more loudly maybe and clearly, and should be fine.
A little more loud and clearly. Okay,
Yep.
Fine. Ross, it's over to you.
Okay, well, maybe I should speak a little slower. Maybe that will stop the breaking up.
Actually, that sounded very good, what you just did. So.
Okay, good. So obviously the activities, this image here shows some of the boats that go out. There are big boats, there are small boats, depending on which establishment you're with, depending on how many people are in a group, or if it's individual, or if they want a private boat. But this just is a very good image showing you of the cruises they do in Chobe. This is the image of the Makura that I was talking about in the Okavango Delta. So you would do some of your game viewing down at water level, traveling through little canals, and getting up really close and personal to bird life, and the crocodiles and hippos. And of course, they do also do game viewing on open vehicles as well. Again, just showing you the bits of accommodation. This is a tented lodge in the Delta. They all actually are tented because they're not permanent structures. Some of them are built on stilts with wood, but generally they all are tented structures. Some of them are super luxury, and some are three-star Marine style tents. But as you can see from these images, and this is just two of probably 50 establishments that are available, but yeah, this shows you how luxurious these can be.
Thank you so much, Raz. I really appreciate you staying up so late and coming in. And I will take over from there, and I would like to bring to your attention that whilst ANS Signature Journeys does custom groups for your clients, if you have a group or your FITs, this year we had lots of agents asking, why is there a possibility for us to come up with a special group departure, which we did. We came up with a luxury safari experience at a very brand new exclusive lodge using the Beck Safari Lodge. And it also includes Zimbabwe with the natural world that's Victoria Falls, which Roz was just talking to you about. It includes Cape Town with wine tastings. It's a 9-night, 10-day tour. And yes, it is at an unbelievable good price of only $2,999 twin sharing. Now, for travel agents, this is a very special commission that we are giving. It's an introductory commission. It's 15% when you book 2 people. So if anyone would like to take note of it, our group coordinator is Kirsten, and Kirsten's direct phone number is 616-682-6109. She can also be reached at her email, which is kirsten@ansjourneys.com. And it's a small group, so there would only be 15 people, and with nothing, it's not a large group. And with that, I would like to say thank you for your time, and we really hope you enjoyed your journey through our eyes to exotic Southern Africa. And we look forward to hearing from you. We hope that we can form some good partnerships with you all. And once again, thank you so much for your time, because I know how precious it is, especially when everyone is so busy.
Great. Thank you, Sherry and Raz, for a great presentation. We do have time for some questions. We do have a few questions here, so let me read those for you now, Sherry. The first question was asked by Sean, and he asked, is yellow fever vaccine required if they are traveling to another area that does have yellow fever?
Sean, yes, if they are going into an area that needs yellow fever, absolutely they would have to take it. But if they are 60 years and over, they don't have to take it because they're exempt from it. But for anyone who is 60 and below, then they need it. And for infants, they don't need it either. So if you're 3 years and below, you don't need it. If you're 60 and over, you don't. But if you're going to another destination that has yellow fever, then yes, you must take it.
Great. Thank you. Next question was from Cami. The question is, how far in advance can we book for a small group?
Tammy, I would say with the way South Africa has grown in tourism, just between last year and this year, there's been a 16% growth. And we do have a problem trying to get space, especially if you want to get, the right accommodation for your clients. So I would say even 1 year is good enough. You can book it in 1 year, but sometimes if you don't have a year, we've even done things for people within 2 months. But then your services are limited, but we would recommend 1 year, 6 months, we can do things for you.
Excellent, thank you. We had a couple questions about whether people can access this presentation after it's over. Yes, you can. It will be in our webinar library at www.jaxfax.com. And I also want to mention a couple people were concerned that they were not able to hear Roz very well, but that was picked up on the recording that we're making, so you should be able to hear it on that recording on our website. So take a listen to that. It will take just a couple days to get that up. And I think, unless anybody else has any questions, that looks like we're all set. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's training session. Your time is important to us. We do appreciate it. As promised, one of you will be selected to win a 2-night stay and airport transfers to and from the Royal Livingston Hotel near Victoria Falls in Zambia. Sherry will notify the winner shortly after the webinar concludes, so good luck to everybody. I hope everybody has a prosperous day, and I hope you'll join us again tomorrow at 2 o'clock for our next training session, Marketing Beyond Facebook. Sherry, Roz, again, thank you very much for the informative presentation, and everybody have a great day. Goodbye for now.